Okay, let's take a look at the text now, how we can update the text. I'm going to finish with how to calculate the angles with the pies. I'm going to keep it for the last part. Now we're going to focus on the text. We've seen how to update that using callbacks and when change handlers. So I'm going to go into the script editor. I'm just going to open it up, script editor. Here we go. We already wrote two scripts, and the script that we're going to use to update the text is very similar to what we have here. So what I'll do is I'll just grab this line here, copy it, and I'm going to create a new text, a new script, and we're going to do it all in here. So we've seen that when the parameters of the control object change, we want to change it now. We're going to update this command to make it work with this one. So I'm going to grab the control object. I'm going to call that exactly the same way. So ctrl underscore edit. So this, if the reason why I'm calling it exactly the same is that let's say that I create another pie chart and I always keep the naming convention the same. It's very easy for me to take script commands that have already been created and reuse them to update the content of my graphic. So the fact that you name everything consistently makes it much easier to adapt scripts and change from one context to the other. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say the ID. What I'm trying to do is update the pie text one. So I'm going to give this ID. I'm going to copy the ID here to the ID that is here so that we can delete it correctly. So that's just to test that our command is working. And what we want to do, we want to change the text that is here. So that's going to be pie1. So I'm going to select it. The name of the text is text underscore pie underscore 1. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to replace this here. So we want to update the text of this by what? By the control edit, same thing. Modifier, still the same thing. Custom attribute rollout 1 is the same thing. But here the text is named differently. So it's called text 1. So that would be text underscore 1. And I'm going to do this here. Text underscore 1. And I'm going to say evaluate to try this and minimize this. And now if I change, it should work. So change. So pie1. The text is a bit high. So I'm going to say, let's say 100 or 120, that's going to be the value that is here, or value 1, whatever. So the text is kind of big, so we could reduce it in the end if we want to write something bigger and still fit on the screen. But you kind of get the idea. Now that we're done with this, I can just copy and paste all of this. So paste this to be pie text number 2 and pie text number 2, pie text number 2 here, and we want to grab text number 2. I'm going to paste this another time. So that's going to be 3, pie text number 3, pie text number 3 here, and same thing here, 3. So you see that it's very easy to just copy and paste. When you have a good naming convention or a consistent naming convention, I can just update the script. And now I'm going to say tool, evaluate all, and we should be able to say value 2. And value, and actually that's going to always be updated because there's one parameter that changes here. That's fine, it's not a big surprise. Value 4, the fact that all of them went empty. Value 2, and here we go, or I could say text 1. And the reason why I'm writing this down here is that we want to save in a generic way. So we're just going to say text 3 and text 4. And here we go, whoops, text 4. We have our 4text object being updated. But the thing is that you remember when we did this and we saved the file, when we reopened the file, all of these handlers were gone. So what we did in the first time is we created a script that was persistent. That was every time that you did open the file, it created that command here. So what I'll do is I'll do exactly the same thing. I'll just say copy this line. And I'm going to go to the bottom here. I'm going to create the new script here. So first we remove all the scripts that are associated to the opening of the file. Right now we don't have any, but if ever we did mistakes or we wanted to change them, it's always important to add that command at the beginning so that they are removed from the scene. Then we are going to add a script, and that script here, we're going to just go up to there. So we're going to add a script. We're going to put it in quote. So the script, the line will be in here, and we also want to have it persistent so that it's saved with the scene. So I'm going to say control copy for this and paste. This one is going to be persistent. So now that what we need to do is to take that when parameter, or that when command, copy it, and paste it between. And before I do this, actually, I'm going to just copy this one 4 times, so that because I need to copy those 4 commands. So when copy, put that in between the quotes here. The second one here, I'm going to copy this, copy, put it between the quotes here. The third one here, select everything here, copy, put it in the middle here, and then I'm just going to copy this and paste it in between the quotes. And I don't need those commands anymore, so I'm going to say, I'm just going to comment them out. Whoops, comment them out. And now that everything is correct, I'm going to save this, and I'm going to call that PieText callbacks. And like I said, it's at the end of the blog post. I'm going to put them into a RAR file and give you all of these scripts so that you can extract from those. So now that we've got all of this, make sure that it's saved, and I'm going to say Tool, Evaluate All. Now that it's been evaluated and that's all part of the scene, I'm going to rewind and save this. And if I do open it again, pie number 4, open it. If everything goes well, if I go back here and I change something, it should work. If I change something here, it should work. Change something here, it works. And change something here, it works. So all of my texts are connected, and we're good to go, and to move to the next section, which is the more advanced section where we need to create the angles for the slice to and the slice from, so that it works with the values that are entered here.